Honestly, I don't know much about what the current generation thinks. They're always ranting all the time.
Excuse you?
They're always ranting all the time.
Expressing feelings.
I do agree that this current generation, they're a lot more expressive. Across the generations, I think what we share in common is that we want our voices to be heard. Yeah.
So have you been annoyed by discussing politics with your family?
We don't really talk about politics that much though.
跟家庭谈的话，通常是会比较少机会有这个机会跟他们谈的。
I think I've always known that you have different views from me, which is why.
We don't want to talk?
Yeah, better don't talk about it, you know?
Okay.
I think it's the first time we're actually talking about this. In general, I don't even talk about politics much. I just talk about issues, but not.
When we've discussed politics, it's never been a problem because we kind of fall on a similar side of the spectrum. But then when it's discussing it with our parents, it feels like they've already made up their mind and they're not open to discussing
to your opinions and your voice.
So that definitely grinds my gears sometimes.
I'm kind of tired of seeing the other generations being like, oh, I'll vote for what's right for my children and things like that. And I'm just like, okay. But then they don't ask us how we feel. It's like they vote for us, but they don't ask us what we want. Do you think your wants and needs are taken care of by the government?
From a family man's perspective, I think by and large, we are quite well taken care of in terms of education, healthcare. But there's certain things, in terms of quality of life, things are a lot more expensive here. It's quite hard for us to get certain things because of all the bureaucratic process.
As a whole, the government forgotten one category, the unemployed.
I did read somewhere that one of the rationale behind why the unemployed do not get, so-called as much benefits is because the government doesn't want to encourage unemployment. So they do not want people to just, sit back, don't look for jobs, even though they are able and they're, and just, wait for money to come to them.
It should be case-to-case basis.
Exactly.
If the fellow, as I say, just a 1 or 2 months did not work
There
and they
should
are
be
looking
some
for a job,
flexibility.
and if they can prove that
Yes.
Within that period,
Yeah.
they have applied for numerous jobs.
Right.
Then the case officer
Right.
will able to look at it.
Yeah.
我们这一代很多的想法就是说，那我们其实也不用做太多政府在照顾我们但是有可能照顾不到，不太理想，我们就开始埋怨，我想说，你不是说会照顾我吗？其实我觉得我们人民不需要一直在这个阶段里面一直围绕着说政府一定要照顾我们。
Then what goes beyond that? So we're talking about fulfillment, satisfaction. That's where there's a grey line between how much responsibility is on the government and how much is on me to ensure that those needs beyond the basic are met.
So what issues and causes will you be looking out for in this election?
I think housing is an issue that has not been taken care of, I would say, because I can't be 35 and still living with my parents.
Right.
When I'm 35 and I have to go and source out for a house, the cost is only going higher and higher.
When I wanted to apply for, a HDB flat, according to government policies, I wasn't eligible.
Yes.
And I almost became a homeless single mom. I had to go through many hurdles in order for me to eventually be eligible. I do appreciate there's that, kind of flexibility to bend the policy a bit when you appeal. But the thing is that, not everybody will be blessed enough to meet the right person to help you solve your matter.
Because I feel like there's a segment of the population that has been overlooked just because they don't fall into the common description of what you would consider a family or what you would consider a mainstream Singaporean. And I feel like many of these people have been falling under the cracks. I think minority representation can be very powerful because it helps people of our skin color and of our cultural backgrounds see that they are represented in parliament. There's others like them there,
And be relatable.
Yeah, because then it helps you feel you're not being forced to conform to a different identity or to let go of some of your cultural practices just because you don't see it happening all around you constantly. I just want to be proud of the skin I'm wearing and the culture that I come from.
As a minority, I feel that it's important to have good representation of minorities in the government because they are the one who's supposed to be the best place to understand our issues, not just a token or figurehead, but somebody who's there who
deeply intertwined with the community.
Yeah.
I hope that by the time that I can vote, it will be more inclusive.
Every time it comes to election, I feel always that it's a reminder that we are the new immigrant because this will be a topic of discussions. People always ask me, where are you from? I come from Clementi.
As someone who was born here, I don't think I feel the same extent of exclusion as my dad. Yeah.
So we come from Teochew, and just like many Singaporeans who migrated from China, but we come a little bit later than them. Yeah.
But I think it's interesting that my dad has already been here for 24, 25 years, but he still feels like this sense of exclusion. Whereas like one might think that someone who has been here for so long will already feel like naturalized and part of the conversation. So I think this highlights like, all the more the importance of being sensitive when talking about immigration policy.
What mindsets do you think your generation shares in common with other generations?
Even though like our beliefs and what we want might vary from person to person, I think fundamentally all we want is a better country that is equal and just for everybody that lives in it.
我们那个年代哦，跟你讲，我们是风雨同舟的年代了。风雨同舟的，风雨同舟就是说，我们大家一起在那个大雨中，我们把那个船走了呢。那现在因为你看到你有 HDB 住，我们那个年代哦是住下雨我们就脚了，半夜要起来的。那我们已经经过了那个阶段，那经济也做得不错，那也发展得很好。那所以当然发展得很好，那想法也是一点不一样啊，因为你看不到那个年代的那个情景，所以变成说，你们这一代老实讲啦，我们建国一代，你们是被宠的一代了啦。
但也不能是这样子讲。我觉得每个不同的那个人生的阶段哈，或者是我们国家成长的阶段，都有面临不同的困难啦。我们这一代也有可能辛苦的那个阶段，也是相当的蛮复杂的了。
我明白你所讲的东西啊，因为在每一个时代的想法有一些差距，但是因为你在那很困难的时期，那你的想法不同。那你在比较环境比较好，或者是说经济比较好时，你想的也是不一样。不是说老人跟年轻人，我的老人的思想是说，你有足够的那个生活经验的体会。
Nobody wants to be silenced by somebody else.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to be told, oh, your opinion doesn't matter and things like that. If I were to put this in like my school setting, there's always like some student in my class that asks questions to the teacher and everyone feels annoyed by them asking questions and they make it super obvious. And then she feels like she cannot ask questions because the whole class is looking and she'll like look dumb in front of all of them. Just because some people don't agree with your opinions doesn't mean that they don't deserve to be listened to.
我觉得讨论一定要从学校开始，讨论的话题一定要丰富，不是只是纯粹说啊，我会跟你辩论一些想法。学校里面能讨论的，他们是年轻一代的，就是以后要管理新加坡的了。他们没有机会在里面讨论现在的问题的话，他们怎么去挖掘他们未来呢？
Actually, before this conversation, you thought that this election was to vote for the president.
Yeah,
And you started reading out about all the past presidents.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I legit thought it was a presidential election. That's why. And I didn't really know the difference, you know.
Yeah,
like
so
because
at least now you know, see?
I think I know things to keep in mind when I vote in the future.
Okay. So having this conversation with you about politics has made me kind of reflect why conversations in my own family and friends were different from this.
Yeah.
I think now I can talk to you a lot more openly. Also partly because you are not so exposed yet. So there's no like a embedded
Like belief.
judgment or beliefs. Yeah, so it's like on a clean canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
新加坡人不是属于年轻一代或者年长一代，他是所有人的一代。
对
，from A to Z 的。
我觉得有不同思想可以一起来思考，来一起让别人一起跟你分担这个重量这个问题，而考量去看有没有别的方案或者是机会去解决心中的一些问题，我觉得是很重要的东西。
The middle ground is important, especially as a family when want to. It's good to discuss, debate, and then if we have a share a view on certain things, and then make decisions together. I'm very excited that Xingyi has reached age of voting. In the past, I voted for her. I think this time she can make her own choice. I'm proud of you.
I didn't know that you voted with me in mine last time. So that was heartening to know. So I think this prompts me to think about how my vote will impact your concerns as well.
我们大家都有不同的想法，那这些不同的想法可以集合在一起，可以集中的话，我觉得它的集中的那个机会，让我们会展现出，有可能会有我们意想不到的东西，有可能会有别的更好的机会去让国家前进的更好。